And we are live. Welcome everyone to episode 3 of the Free Radio of Callahan podcast. I am joined today by the wonderful Fish, newly promoted to lieutenant.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry. Hello.
And the ever wonderful, if slightly obnoxious, Blueberry.
What's up, guys?
That's the quietest you've ever fucking been.
I could go, fuck you guys! But why would I do that? Oh, I guess I just did.
Off camera, he's very loud. I'll tell you that.
On camera, I'm all business, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why he doesn't take part in the War Thunder streams. Right. So, no boss or Dragonfly today. I'm pretty sure Dragonfly is... What is he doing? Is he even online? Is Dragonfly online?
Yeah, he's not.
No, he's not even online. And Boss just isn't today because Boss has better things to do.
I like playing Foxhole.
Yeah, like actually play the game that we're talking about. So
my man's doing some logi, so I respect his work.
yeah, no, can't throw shade on that. You know,
Gotta respect the
logis
grind.
that don't give up on logi are just the best kind of logi, isn't that right, Blue?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's true.
Wait, did you say glue?
No, I said Blue.
Glue?
I must be
Wait,
hearing things then.
I heard glue.
I said
I heard
Blue.
glue. No, I heard glue.
Well, it's not your second. It's not your first language, so it's okay to be wrong. I
I wonder if it was my first language.
Well, it was almost German, weren't it? So
Where are you from, Fish?
Poland.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should. Well, your second language ought to be Norwegian, then.
Why
What? Why Norwegian?
Well, didn't you know the special relationship between Poland and Norway? Honestly, you didn't?
Yeah, but we're always going to use Norwegian.
What special
in
relationship between Poland and Norway?
We get cheap labor from Poland. Like, I shit you not. There's like, I think if you look at the population of Norway, it's easily like every 20th person is Polish.
That's
Okay.
because of the grind that's going on over there.
That's definitely not true, and don't quote me on that. But
I mean, we used to have Russian as our second language, or yeah.
Oh, I can't possibly imagine why your second language would have been Russian.
I'm just saying that we used to learn Russian, but then fall of communism happened, and then yeah, we just kicked the Russians out of our country.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened, Fish.
Exactly.
Anyway, Foxhole. Let's actually talk about what we're here for.
hell yeah.
Nothing exciting to really cover today, except for I used the officer uniform for the first time.
Oh, how was it?
I didn't really get a chance to shoot anyone because no one irritated me. Funnily enough.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I did though. I did.
Yeah, but you
I
was
used it as
you was in
well.
a truck. You was in a barge, so I couldn't shoot you.
It was before that. When we got to the staging area, essentially, there was a boat at the shore that I got into because I wanted to zoom around a little bit and be like, be myself.
Yeah.
Like I always am.
Yeah, of course.
But needless to say, the boat was switched over to petrol. I don't know if they can use diesel. I've never really actually used one of those before. And it was stuck on land and no fuel. And it was also parked in a way where you can get into it, but you cannot get out of it. So I was stuck. And then other people started jumping in and getting stuck too. And I got to shoot him in the back of the head. It was nice. I enjoyed it. It was nice.
Other than that, I mean, it's been a pretty slow week for myself in Foxhole because I haven't been on as much. But probably the first topic I really want to bring up is how we all got started in Foxhole and the FLC in general. Because everyone, I honestly think that that's a really interesting subject to talk about because we've got so many different. All of us have different stories about how we joined, and I've heard
I got a really good story.
Yeah. Go on then, Blue. Tell us how you.
I'm not going to lead us off. No. You obviously got to talk about how the FLC got started first.
Well, the fun thing is I'm not one of the founding members. Not even close. No.
Neither I am.
You've been in the FLC longer than me, Fish.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but I tell you what, seeing as you're the longest serving member in the FLC, we'll start with you, Fish. We'll do it in that order, yeah?
Oh God.
So
I get to go last.
So Fish, how did you get started in Foxhole? And then
I
in the FLC?
started in Foxhole somewhere in August 2021, where my friend bought me this game. Well, I couldn't reject it. It was a free game, and it looked like a World War II game to me, and I like World War II games, so I just installed it and played the shit out of it. And then we played it for a little bit with my friend. The first fight I ever been to was a bridge fight, and that was a disappointing fight, really.
Wait, was that your first? Really?
Yeah, that was my first fight.
Because that was my first fight as well. What the fuck?
I think everyone's first fight was a bridge fight.
But my bridge was broken, and we were shooting each other from either side.
Oh, my bridge was like fully repaired, but all I did was just like charge through the goddamn defenses because I was such a brainlet at the time.
Same
Well,
here.
at least you can admit it, yeah.
I thought I was like invincible. I could like matrix the shit out of the bullets that the enemies, that the college were shooting at me. But nah, I got stunned and I died. Well, I think it was before War 83, the big update, where they had the AT turrets. You know these funny thing structures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the old AT turrets that look turpy as fuck and so out of place. You just come across.
I remember this one clip where the like AT turrets was behind a relic blueprint, and I think enemy was. I think wardens were building it, and the AT turrets were colonials, and then they turn around. The AT turrets turn around, and they kill the colonial in the process. They kill the blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite pretty funny.
I remember the old AT turrets. You'd come across like fields of them. It was like crops. Just someone planted them, and you'd just come across like 50 just in this field covering something, and they look so out of place.
They look so quite weird, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they didn't actually fit the post-war style of the game because there's like.
Well, the thing was.
I don't know. Yeah.
The thing that I got what they were going for because that was an actual thing during the war having these things, but the issue with the turrets is they didn't match. Those of you that haven't seen them, you can easily Google them. They're so out of place looking. But unlike the other ones, they didn't match any turrets of tanks like the real world equivalents were, where they just took the turret off a tank and put it in a defensive position. And because they didn't match any of the tanks, they just looked really out of place in the grand scheme of things in like the game itself. Well, at least I always felt it looked out of place. Horrible fucking things. But yeah, that was. It wasn't even that long ago that they got rid of them. If you really think about it, is it?
I think it was like 6 months ago.
No, it was shorter than that, mate. The Entrenched update came out. Actually, you might be right. It was October, wasn't it?
Yes. Wait, October, November, December. Like around 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah. But so, how did you end up joining the FLC itself then?
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one. All right, so I built my first tank. I fell in love with it. I think it was I built it in Origin, and I wanted to go somewhere. I think it was in Great March, where the big fight was happening, like in War 83. Yeah, everything was happening in War 83. So I made my first tank in Origin. I transported through multiple regions all the way to Great March because I was quite a brainlet on how to use town bases efficiently, but I was just doing my first place. And then at the in Westgate, on my way to Great March with my beloved tank, I spotted Chop sitting on the top of a bunker piece. It was like it was some kind of like messiah just standing there, like he was like standing on purpose, like he knew I was coming. And then I stopped. I looked up, and then he said, "Hello, my fellow warden. Would you like to join my regiment?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
that's fucking brilliant. I had no idea that's how you joined the. That was
Oh
your
my
first
God.
image of Chop. Just this German stood on top of a bunker piece, just like, "Greetings, friend. Would you like to?"
It can be compared to a Steiner, like, "Hello, my fellow German. Would you like to join my counter-offensive on Berlin?"
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. And you joined. So you joined in War 83 then.
Yes, I joined in War 83, the Free Legion of Callahan. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
So I started playing around about May 2021, if I remember correctly. And originally I joined the collie side because I reenact in my spare time as an American infantryman. So I was like, I'm going to look like an American infantryman. It makes sense.
Opinion rejected. First reason you joined the game first by playing Colonels. Opinion rejected. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Sorry.
And I thought that their uniforms just looked cooler. That was another reason
Yeah,
for it.
I can give it that.
I like the look of the colonials more than the wardens because the wardens just looked like French people to me.
That's not the reason.
So
I mean, you're British, so I
yeah,
might understand.
exactly. So I joined the colonial faction. Actually formed after a little bit of playing. Formed a regiment with some of my friends IRL, called Deus Ex Fallen. Things went from there. Some of my friends they stopped playing, which just left me. Had some bad experiences with other colonial regiments, so I decided I was going to move over to the Warden faction. And this is after a 3-month break from the game. Like I left the game entirely for about 3 months, missing War 83 in its entirety.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I've got no War 83 stories for you because I was pushed. I wouldn't say pushed out of the game. I lost interest in the game after a really bad experience with another colonial regiment left, and I just re-downloaded it and loaded in. And I was only intending to play for like 30 minutes or so, but I decided I was going to go Warden. I wasn't going to play for that long because I had my girlfriend over, and I ended up I ended up bumping into Chop and Loken on the front somewhere, and they asked for help running artillery. And I was like, yeah, sure, I haven't done artillery before. You're going to have to tell me what to do, but I'm more than happy to help, like, because it was something I hadn't done before. That 30, I'm only going on for 30 minutes, babe, turned into 4 hours later. I'm still playing, And rather than talk over group comms, Chop was just like, "Oh, just join my Discord. Just join the Discord," and that's how I joined FLC. Like, I just bumped into them, helped them out, and then I just joined the regiment.
Typical FLC fashion.
Hello there, Sap.
Hello. Yeah,
Hi,
sorry for joining so quietly.
No, it's all right. So those of you that are listening, Sap is one of our newest members. I don't know
Kind of.
how long have you been in the regiment, Sap?
Oh, some half a year or something.
Oh, okay, wow. So
I
you're
was one of the first to ever get officially recruited.
Oh, right. Oh, cool.
But then my life went to shambles, and I didn't play video games for a long time. And only since 2 days ago, I'm actually back to play Foxhole. So.
Oh, that's cracking. So,
Thanks.
So yeah, I joined the regiment in War 85. Very quickly, I was trying to do as much as possible, like, you know, getting involved in helping with the recruits, leading at the front, everything like that. Because we was expanding so quickly, Chop wanted to add more, what was called at the time squad leaders, to the FLC.
Oh man, I remember that.
Yeah. He recommended me, you, and someone else, but it ended up being me, you, and Sire that got promoted, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, we got promoted at the same time. Then we changed the name to to Company Commander, didn't we? And everyone went into their own companies. And yeah, I mean, the FLC's changed so many times. Like, we've added new ranks, we've reorganised multiple things, and compared to when I joined, we're a lot more organised than we were back then. And it went from just a group that I bumped into randomly on a game that I was only planning on playing for 30 minutes to, well, shit, I'm still here and I've got a second job. And that's that. I joke to my girlfriend always. It's a second job. Like, when I wake up in the morning, I don't check my Facebook. I check my Discord, because
Dude, every time I wake up, I check Foxhole stat to see how the map is looking. Like, every time, I got this mentality. Like,
for me,
I gotta check Foxhole stats.
I mean, less so recently, because I've taken more of a back seat in regards to Foxhole, because I need a break from the game, because War 87 took a lot out of me, and I need to have a break from doing all of that I was doing before. Plus, with me starting a new Warhammer army, that takes up a lot of time. You know, it's just, you know, I've got to fit everything in at once, and I need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's how I ended up joining the FLC. So we'll move on to Blue.
All right. Well, I mean, I started playing Foxhole the very first time, January 18. Me and my brother, we have this thing that when we're really bored and don't know what to do, we look through each other's Steam lists and then pick a game randomly, you know? Because we both have like 400 plus games. We haven't even played all of them because we pick them up on sale and then just forget about them. But I've been keeping an eye on Foxhole for a while. The only thing keeping me from actually getting it was the Steam reviews that kept mentioning that, you know, unless you're in a big group, you'll get bullied, and stuff like that. But one of my friends that had been playing it for a long time, actually, I asked him outright, you know, is this true? And he was like, yes, but not really. So he convinced me to give it a try. So I bought it on January 18th, same as with my brother. We got into the game. We spawned, I think, somewhere mid-map, actually. And then we walked to the front line, which, you know, We were noobs. The fuck? We didn't know what to do. So yeah, we walked to the front with like some heavy equipment. Like we had to stop and rest, and it was like an adventure. It was great. I don't remember where we ended up, but we had a bunker base there. I didn't know it was a bunker base at the time, obviously. But we had a bunker base there, and there was a bridge fight. And my brother stopped playing the game after the first day, and I kept playing it for a while. I think on the third day I was playing it, I was in Idolo, Fisherman's Road, doing some logi, or rather, trying to figure out how to do logi. And Chop posted a message in the Intel channel asking for anyone who wanted to know more about how logi works. And he was going to give them training. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, the best way to learn anything is to learn from someone who's already done it. So that's what I did. I joined Chop's training, and I really, really liked. I knew most of what he taught, but I really enjoyed the way he was patient and willing to train new people and like go out of his way to explain how the game works and, you know, what you should do every new war and just for yourself. And then, you know, after the training, I just outright asked, you know, if it was possible to join his regiment. And that's how I joined the FLC.
That's quite
That's
a nice
also how I
story.
started playing the game.
Yeah.
It's a very short story when I compressed it like that. But yeah.
See, I remember you joining and me being. I remember when you first joined, I was very much like, I'm really not too sure about this guy because you were so loud, and I was just like,
Yeah, I was excited. Childlike wonder.
Excited to bully Rice, yes.
I actually remember the first time I thought about you at all, and that was during that one op. It wasn't really an operation as much as you just grabbed a bunch of guys and let's go do this. So that's what we did. And we were fighting against a Kali bunker. First it was a BB, and then it became a border base that we fought against. And I remember you having a very, let's call it a commanding presence, which is required for someone to lead.
yes.
I feel, because you want the person leading you to sound confident. You want him to be direct and no bullshit, right? And that's exactly what you were. And I instantly liked you, even though you might not have liked me, and even though I gave you a hell of a hard time. I wanted to show you that, you know, with me, you don't have to hold back, right?
Yeah.
With me, you don't have to pull your punches because I'll fucking punch you right back in the face, mate. And I think that's how our bond got so strong that it is.
Yeah.
Because I consider you a brother now. Like,
Oh
honestly.
yeah, no. Out of everyone here, like I'm close to a lot of people in the regiment, but you're one of the people that, aside from maybe Chop, I'm closest with, because we've always been very open with each other. Like if I think that you've been an arse, I'll tell you that you've been an arse,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Like you've told me numerous times if you thought that I've made a mistake in the field or something like that, and I've listened to you, because
Yeah, mutual respect.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want from a friend.
yeah, exactly. And we're really, I like to think that we're all very, very lucky with the community that we kind of forged here with the
Oh,
FLC.
definitely.
Because we've got a really solid group of people that,
Like, honestly, I don't think there's any singular thing that would make me leave the FLC. It would
No.
have to be a cascading event.
yeah, it would have to be
Yeah.
such a colossal event. But even then, even if that happened, I still think a lot of us would stick together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think the bonds that we have forged here are going to last for a long, long time. you
Yeah,
know?
it transcends just like this silly Foxhole game. It's more than
definitely. Not long after I joined, me and Chop started talking about meeting up. So, that's happening this summer. A bunch of us actually, maybe. We'll see. We haven't talked about it in a little bit, but I know Boss was interested in doing
Yeah.
it. Um,
Well, I've actually met another FLC member.
oh, yeah.
I've
Drasmodia, right?
I've met Drasmodia, yeah. Because he
How was
literally
it?
lives like a train ride away.
How was it?
Well, he stayed for the weekend. It was actually really cool because we just chatted and
Yeah.
hung out. It was really, really cool. Because me and him have a lot in common anyway. Because we're both huge Warhammer 40k fans. We're both ex-military. We both like a lot of the same stuff. So yeah, we both think the same way. I think it annoyed my girlfriend a little bit because she wanted to have me alone for the week.
No.
She wanted to have me alone for the weekend.
That's bad, dude. Very bad.
But she
Well,
gets
you
along
know
with
the saying,
Drasmodia as well. So
Well, you know the saying, though, right?
yeah.
Before. Yep.
But no, it's got to the stage where I enjoy playing any game. It's not just Foxhole with you guys. It's like I'll quite happily jump onto War Thunder with you, Blueberry, and play with you on there. Or when we've played like
World of Warships.
yes, I know, but whenever I'm free to play it, you're not.
That's fair. That's fair. And I'm
You're
gonna
not an
get even
easy
less
man to
time.
get hold of, Blueberry.
Sure I am. Just send me a damn message. I'm not that hard to get a hold of.
But
But
anyway,
yeah, no, we do enjoy playing
Yeah.
a lot of different games with each other here. We played Nebula's Fleet Command now. I just beat I just beat Chop's fleet that he had carefully constructed over several hours, and I just made mine in like 20 minutes. I beat him because I went all in on the guns and just protecting the guns and making the guns fire faster, and it was fun. I thought he had me though, honestly, for like 90% of the match.
I thought he had you from what I saw.
Yeah,
I was
really
surprised
looked like it.
because Chop had your number to begin with, and then somehow
But he disabled my ship, but due to the fact that I had multiple reactors, my guns could still fire. So and he stopped shooting the ship that was sitting still and started shooting the ships that were moving, which was a problem for him, not me. Yeah.
Anyway, Sap, how did you get started in Foxhole and the FLC?
Well, I was attracted to the game when I first noticed it on social media like YouTube and such, and I watched a few videos on it, and I found the what do you call it, top view experience very pleasant, renewing. Never really played any games like that. So that's the first thing that I really liked about the game, and then the second thing is that it's just huge. The game is huge. There's lots of players. It's one extremely large battlefield, and that you don't see that much. Oh, someone left. All right. Well,
Yeah,
you
I think
don't
Blueberry
see.
left by accident.
Well, you don't see huge, like 1,000-player battles all on one server, technically playing together anymore. And the how sophisticated everything was, how every bullet you fired was made by someone put effort into it. That's something that I was missing when playing other games. I come from an environment from Stormworks. I've put like 4,500 hours into the game. It's all about engineering, and once you've put a car together and programmed everything from the screens inside of it and how the wheels turn and all that. Once you've done all that, you spawn it in, and once it works, you upload it to the workshop, and you see how well it does. Like, you get a few thousand subscribers if it's a good build. All right, and then you move on to the next project, and that's about the circle of life. in Stormworks, and there is no multiplayer. Multiplayer support is very, very poor in the game, and groups and such are made all the time, but also fall or just dissolve over time as well. Especially in Discord and such, there's the devs are quite incompetent. Yeah, but like on a serious note, Battlefield 2042 is nothing compared to Stormworks developers. It sometimes it feels like they really try to be incompetent. But that, I'll leave that for another day to discuss. That's where I came from. So Foxhole attracted me because of Stormworks being the exact opposite of Foxhole. That's my story.
Yeah. So, and you like Fish was recruited during War 83, I'm guessing.
I'm not sure. I know there was a war where the Colonials won by a very big margin, and that made all the wardens kind of want to take a break from the game for a while.
Oh, War
and
86. Yeah.
That might have been that war. So
yeah.
The war after that, when all the wardens were taking a break, is when I joined, and I didn't really know what to do. And then I don't remember the exact moment when I met Chop or anyone else. I think it was Chop who I met, but I don't remember that all that well.
Well, for me, when it comes to Foxhole's game itself, there's only one other game I can think which has the kind of community input that Foxhole does for keeping the player economy going and everything like that, and that's Albion Online. That's literally the only one I can think of. But Albion has its own range of issues with the meta and everything like that. I don't know if either of you two have ever played it.
I'm looking at it right now. I don't recognize it, but
easiest way to explain it, it's RuneScape. It's RuneScape.
All right, yeah, I know RuneScape. Haven't played it either, but I know the game.
Yeah, most people know RuneScape, but unlike RuneScape, which has some of its skills locked behind a paywall, Albion Online doesn't.
Oh, so in that case, you've kind of found a hidden gem then.
Yeah, it is. It is a very good game. The issue is in my opinion, the burnout's worse with Albion Online than it is with Foxhole. I got burnt out with Albion Online after a month of playing it practically every day. Foxhole, it took about 3 months for me to get to that stage, but that's just because Foxhole itself is a very different, it's more like my kind of game because of what I like doing anyway. But
it looks like Albion is kind of like, is it also top view? I see here.
Yeah, it is a top view, but it's much more like click and hit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you click, you move up to the enemy, and you hit it.
All right, so more like management instead of controlling a person.
Yeah.
Individual.
Very, very much so.
And it's set in the medieval times, it looks like, with villages and farms and
it's
such.
a unique medieval fantasy world, like D&D or something.
What's your view on the theme of Foxhole and how it's its own? It has its own lore, its own theme, the graphics of the game, how it's meant to look. What do you think of that?
I really like it. Both factions have flat out. I never played World of Warcraft, but this is something I heard with World of Warcraft. both factions have different cultures to them. Like, as someone that's played on both sides, I've seen both sides of it. The collies treat everything, I wouldn't say much more serious, but much more authoritarian, if that makes sense. They stick much more vigorously to militaristic style, but can also be just essentially a group of surfer dudes. Whereas the Wardens have, well, it's like the joke. Warden is really not that far away from weeaboo. Like, everyone in the Warden faction is a weeaboo. That's the meme. And of course it's not true, but I mean the tech guys for the collies are the quartermasters. The tech guys for us are the tech maids of Callahan. Anime keeps us going.
I cannot believe you're gonna say that.
It is. You've seen at some point, if somebody hasn't gone onto the Warden Pacific Discord, which is the Warden Unity Hub, and seen some of the posts on there, it is just really, it's just anime.
You know what? I'm gonna say, personally, I don't hate people who watch anime and like it and such. Weeaboos, I can't hate them, but I'm not too much of a fan of the whole it's like anime and all that thing. It lies scarily close to what do you call it? There's a very specific term for it that I really liked, like a soft version of child pornography.
Oh,
Like when the character is 18 but was born yesterday and pretty much looked hot already, for me it lies very close to, like, I don't want to touch
what's the term?
all that.
Lolly. That's it.
Yeah, I wanna stay far away from all that. And
As someone that watches anime and enjoys anime, because I do, I think that the meme's too far. like it's just I like anime. I like watching animated shows. But for the love of Christ, can I go anywhere without anime being involved in one of my pissing games?
I haven't noticed any anime itself in Foxhole yet. Which, if you say there's, apart from the names like the tech mates, of course.
Yeah,
but
it's when I say the anime in it, I mean the culture and the Warden side is very much along those lines for some reason. It's fascinating to watch because these two unique cultures have sprung up from two factions in a game that is niche as fuck, and let's face facts, is never going to be in the top 10 of Steam's most played list, but both cultures are so set that although they're still evolving, they're evolving completely separate and can't be compared as the same thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, that sure does make sense. Yeah. Yep.
Because it is very, very. I mean, you can kind of see it, and I'm gonna mention He Who Must Not Be Named. You probably haven't heard of Badman Larry, Sap, or you might have.
Sure have.
Yeah,
I talked about him with Chop and some others.
Yes.
2 days ago.
Now, fun fact: Badman Larry, a couple of wars ago, came over to the Warden side for a war, and was surprisingly chill as fuck. Like, he didn't lose his rag, nothing, did he, Fish?
Can you repeat the question? I was
Badman Larry, he War 87. He was chill as fuck, weren't he?
Oh yeah, it was pretty chill. He even gave us a shout out in his stream.
Yeah, like, he was just really, really nice.
Very, very nice. Yeah.
This war, he's gone back over to the collie side, and he's already started raging.
You
He's
see,
banned now. I saw.
the colonial syndrome.
He's
I
banned.
also raged a bit. I also raged a bit in the colonial side. I had never done that on the warden side.
No. I've done it on both sides, but that's just me. What was that, Sap? He's been banned.
Yeah, I am not like I don't know too much about it, but I talked about it 2 days ago, and apparently he was griefing. Griefing. I think it was indeed on the warden side that he was doing this, but I am not sure. It might have been the college side as well. He was throwing 1,600 grenades at a like concrete piece to grief some regiment that he didn't like. Which 1,600. I don't have much experience in the game, but that definitely sounds like you need a lot of dedication in order to achieve that. And he also then he was reported to the devs, got a 20-minute weapon timeout, but that obviously wasn't enough, and the developers also noticed, so they had to ban him. But that's all I know about the whole ordeal, the whole incident with Batman Larry. All I remember from when I was active like half a year ago, and first started playing the game, is that he already had a bad persona. That he already wasn't liked in the community for supporting alternative accounts and such. That he already was doing stuff like that.
There was footage that went around a while back of Badman Larry harassing a new player in the game, and just like the new player got a shovel and was trying to work out how to build stuff. No idea what they're doing, like a new player does. He happens to drive past and starts just harassing him for an hour about how he's an alt and he's building defences for his warden friends and everything, like several hexes behind the front line. And
that's pretty shitty.
That's
not gonna
actually laughable. That is actually so sad.
We actually had a member leave our regiment and join his.
Who?
You know who.
Oh god, not him. Not him, bro.
Yeah, he did. Straight away,
No.
same day.
Why?
Yeah, same day he joined Shred, which is Badman Larry's clan. And in general, he's a Twitch streamer. And rather than get known for his abilities at the game, because he is actually surprisingly good at the game, or for how nice a person he is or anything like that, because that gets less views, he instead has decided to be known as the dick of the Warden community. That's what he's decided to do. Trying to pretend that I guarantee, chances are, he's not even half like what he actually acts like. It's all an act. It's all an act to get views, because he knows the more he acts out, the more even the people that don't like him are going to click to watch him react the way he does. That's why he does it.
Well, I can only say Uncle Larry woke up and chose violence. That's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not well liked in the community, no, but he is not going to go away. He is, and unfortunately in a game such as ours, we have a relatively small community, so a lot of people know, or on first name terms with pretty much all of, like, I know a fair amount of other regiment leaders, and they know me, because being a small community like we are, you do. You get to know each other pretty quickly, especially if you want to work together. So I know a lot of them just offhand. So everyone's heard of Badman Larry. A lot of people have fought alongside him. I have. Fish has. I'm going to assume that you haven't, Sap.
I have not. Nope.
No. Or even fought against him. Like I've killed Badman Larry.
I remember having fought against him. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember there was like, oh, there's the Batman Larry regiment over there. They're trying to take over the town, and we were attacking the bridge that was connecting the town. I was constantly dying because of heavy armament shooting each other on the bridge.
Yeah.
That I do remember.
But flat out, and I'll make this clear to anyone listening, Badman Larry is acting the way he acts because he knows that us as a community will respond and still watch his shit, which brings in revenue for him, which brings in money, which brings in more exposure for himself. That's why he acts the way he does. And it's very much like just like a monkey in the middle of the street, just clapping his hands, just like, watch me, watch me, watch who I fling my poop at next. That's Badman Larry.
I do remember like him seeing my name. He laughed his ass off about it. He was like wheezing his shit, bro.
Yeah, but to be fair, pretty much everyone does when they see your name, Fish.
Yeah.
To give some context for those, because obviously I just call him Fish, but his in-game or his gamer tag is I hate my wife. So people see that when they see it. And of course it brings a lot of chuckles, but it's just he's not even married.
I'm not. Yeah. Like most of the time they asked, "Hey, bro, are you married?" I said, "No, bro, I'm 17."
Yeah, he's 17 years old. He's not even married. He's still in school. But
I'm still in high school, bro. I don't even have a girlfriend yet.
yet, I love that optimism. Keep your hope up. You'll find someone eventually, Fish.
I will find someone. I'm definitely age of 50. Definitely, yes. But yeah.
Yeah, Foxhole in and of itself, I love the art style. So much so that I haven't downloaded any mods which change the actual look of the
Bro,
vehicles.
you should download the Warhammer 40k mod for the infantry. They look so dope.
I won't. There's several reasons why. Mostly because I don't actually like the Deathcore of Krieg. So, that's why. But that's because obviously you're not a 40k fan, Fish. I am. So I know, like you see it and just it's a like 82DK for example is a 40k reference. But I know what the Deathcore of Krieg's actually like, and they're dicks. So I don't like them.
They become a dick then. Become a dick to the colleagues.
There's actually a couple of regiments which are based very heavily off of 40k. Like
I think it was 82DK Krieg Siege. No, I don't think Sieges.
No, Siege isn't. Siege is just artillery. Did someone
they
say
also do
artillery?
tanks. They also do tanks, from what I heard.
Oh yeah, but no one pays attention to Siege's tanks operations. It's all of their artillery operations.
Oh yeah, well,
because Siege's response to any bunker is just hold my beer.
It's like they were created by Battle of Verdun, but like 1,000 times worse.
it's their response to it is just the kind of people that get hard on whenever they watch an old like Sadin movie or something like that. It's got shit with shit tons of guns on it because they're just like, oh, all of those cannons, and I could fire all of them. That's Siege.
No wonder their name is Siege, because they're laying a siege on us.
Yeah, they'll lay siege on anything. They're a really good regiment actually. Although not all regiments, you see, Blueberry mentioned something earlier, and I think it's important that we talk about it, which is the bullying.
Wait. What did he mention?
The bullying that happens for newer players or solo players.
Oh yeah.
Now, first off, yes, it does happen. I think we've all seen it at some point.
I haven't.
Yep, you're very, very lucky if
just-
you haven't, Sap.
Just like 30 minutes ago, I was playing Foxhole still, and someone asked me like, "Would you like to help on the front line with getting some gas filters and such?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, but I'm a new player." And he was like, "Oh, nice. I'll guide you through
Yeah.
it."
Now, straight up, I don't think there's more dicks in the game than there are nice people. But I've come across it. I'm pretty sure you have, Fish. Elitism with certain regiments.
Oh yeah. That shit sucks.
Now, I'm not going to name those regiments because this isn't the place to throw shade. They know who they are. But it is a thing on both sides where older regiments especially have a very elitist attitude towards younger or smaller regiments. And even to other randoms.
Yes.
Now, for those that don't know, a random is a player of any rank that doesn't have an affiliation with any regiments. So they're not in a regiment or anything like that. They're just a random player. Now, I maintain that randoms tend to keep the Foxhole economy going more than regiments do.
Regiments or like privatized. It's basically like a commercial company almost.
All regiments privatise a lot of their supplies, and you will use it for ops. It's actually quite rare with some regiments to be willing to sacrifice very high-end, like high-tier gear or hard-to-make gear like tanks to just anyone. It's not unheard of, but when you think of the amount of regiments they are and think of the amount that are willing to do that, I'd say it's rare. Now,
Well, yeah, that might be the case. However, it might not be as bad. You
No,
know, when there's
I don't
only
think
when
this is
you're
bad.
forced to join a regiment, there is no, it all. You're gonna have to split up regiments. For example, like there is a part of the group that does the logistics. There is part of the group that does the whatever. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Only
no,
if
not at
there
all.
are
That's not what I'm saying.
small groups.
What I mean is this is something that you might not have come across, but I know I have, and I'm pretty sure Fish has. Fish, have you ever come across a group of the same regiment working a component field that have told you that you can't take anything from the component field because it's their component field?
Actually, I haven't. I've been very lucky
Really?
to not. I haven't been them. Yeah.
You've probably heard of it happening though. Oh,
Yeah,
hello
I
there,
did
Chop.
heard of them. Of these guys just clogging the entire goddamn field. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't met anyone.
It's a surprisingly, at least twice every war, I hear a story about about somebody going to a component field to mine components and getting told to fuck off because this component field belongs to such and such group. It happens at least twice every war, if not more, depending on the group.
Yes.
Now, first
Also,
off, I'm not about to say that this is just a warden thing or it's just a colonial thing because I've seen it happen on both sides.
It does happen on both sides.
Yes.
Yes.
It happens on both sides on a regular fucking basis, and I don't like how certain people some people, their attitude is very much, well, that's just what happens in the game. No, you should call that shit out when it happens.
What is the topic, by the way? Hello.
Oh, hey, Chop.
Hi, Chop. We kind of got on the subject of it's something that Blue mentioned before he had to go earlier. Bullying for like newer players within Foxhole, and how certain people who have been in for a long period, who have played for longer, automatically assume that gives them more rights than a newer player. And luckily enough, Sap has never come across that himself, which is really, really good to hear. Don't get me wrong, that's absolutely brilliant to hear. But it does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does happen. I
Yeah.
mean, we had it also like in, I think War 87 when we just formed up all the coalitions and everything.
Yes.
And then
No
there were
names,
some
Chop.
regiments.
No names, but
No names.
they
No,
know
no, no,
they
no
know
names.
who they are.
It's you know,
Yeah.
I always try to not talk about names. So no, but there was like a regiment was just a little bit overwhelming, and they just took stuff away over and over and over again, and smaller groups of players didn't have the chance. But on the other side, I also have to say that the opposite of it is also going to happen. It's like you're just going to a field, and then you start swooping, and you are basically fighting alone against 6 other players from one regiment. And you're not getting any shit. And then there will be also like regiments who are just be like, okay, hey, come on, we just help you. And then they fill up your truck. This is also going to
Or some regiments who are just like, you need tanks? Yeah, sure. We'll get all our tanks out for you. Or, you know, artillery? Yeah, we'll unload all of our artillery shells that we spent hours collecting up to you.
I mean,
Happily.
finally, I think that the basic attitude should be like, it doesn't matter what you do. Everything is going into the war effort, and everyone have the right to do something.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and also, if I see a single player on the component field trying to collecting stuff, we always try to give them, right?
Yeah.
To help them. You know, there will be always a player who will be like, okay, come on, just fill his truck up, basically.
One thing I
That's
always
what I
do
think.
whenever I mine for components or salvage or anything like that, obviously I haven't done it recently because I haven't needed to because we have an awesome logistics team. But what I've always done in the past is any extra I've had, so once I've filled my truck up, any extra I've had, I always, regardless of what it is, whether it's components, salvage, sulfur, regardless, I will always put it into another person's truck. Or another like container or whatever that's there, rather than just carry it on me because they need it just as much as I do. I don't think
I do the same.
Yeah, I think
Just
that
think
is.
it's war has always been a collective.
Yeah,
That's it's not wars. Well, until recently, war has never been very commercial, and it's all been a collective. And I think, especially in the environment that Foxhole was in, where there is not even actually room for commercial companies trying to earn money from it. Especially in that case, there should be only like a collective movement to be. I don't know how much this makes sense if I say it, because of course I don't
No, go
have
on.
much experience with the game, but
Just imagine there will be like we have a decent, a good logistic team, just we. So, and I think you was also on our side when we was set, when we
Yeah.
was playing earlier, and it was just basically a 3 or 4 man team in the beginning, and then we was able with 3 or 4 men or players. Because my girlfriend was in there too. Able to make more than 30 tanks just with 4 guys. So, and now try to imagine how many tanks a big regiment will have in the stockpiles. So, there's enough space and enough components for everyone. Just share. Sharing is caring.
Yeah,
I agree.
but it's also another aspect on the same kind of tack is, like I briefly mentioned it before, older regiments having a more elitist view of themselves compared to younger regiments. Now the FLC isn't old. We've only been around since War 83. and a lot of its members, myself included, have only been a part of the FLC for 2 to 3 wars. Myself, I've been around since War 85 of the FLC. Some people have been around since War 83. But it's almost a view of, you're viewed as, by certain regiments, as not as serious or not as important or not as noteworthy as the older regiments. When
I
you've
think that
got
could be the case, of course. But what's the background of those regiments? Do they come from the Collie side, or have a large number of players who are from the Collie side, or is this what we also need to account for? Is that FLC at some point becomes a very present regiment, and that we start hosting this sort of behavior? How common how large would the chances be that this happens to us, that we are starting to show elitist behavior?
It kind of happens automatically. What I have to say, just to be fair. For my role in the regiment, for example, when I started the regiment, it was basically only a few players, and we played War 78, 79, then we played 80, then we played War 81 on Collie side once, then 82, then 83, the first big war, and then we started the FLC. In the beginning, the FLC was for freelancer. The word was FLC was freelancer. But in 83, it got voted into Free Legion of Callahan. So, and I was like very ambitious in case of teaching everyone. Like, I just want to do it, you know? So, and after a while, when you do it like the thousand times or something like that, you just sit in the room, then you blah, 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 and you just tell them everything the same over and over and over again. So, and I think you don't have that ambitious again, like after a while. So, but when it comes to like a player who is playing the game for like 5 years, they will maybe think something like, I don't want to do this. I just complain. But I always try to not do it. There's like little things. Single players just running into the wall of collies all over and over and over again. Just single, but never in group. And there's always someone needed who needs to lead the force. So if you start to gel on the front line, like, hey, come on, let's go together, don't go alone, grab mammons, blah, 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 tell the players what to do, the front line will change. It's just a little thing what you need to do to change the front lines. So, and I think it's like, if you have a group and you just play with the group, you're gonna start after a while to ignore the randoms, for example. Yeah. And then you just do your thing. So, and I don't like that, and I think we should just every time take care of that. It's not getting too much.
Well, I'm a firm believer that a game such as Foxhole lives and dies by new players coming in. This game that we love to play needs a regular supply of players coming in to play it, because it is so niche. If we don't get that, the game will die. Like, pretending that it won't is
maybe not the game, but especially for you, then it's like there's a lot of new players just jumping in, a lot of new groups jumping in. They're gonna learn the game same as we did, and still do. The new players are, for example, Sepp, you was like away for a long time.
Yeah.
And just played it a time, and then just you put the game away, and then after half year or a year, or maybe for me, after 3 years, you start the game again, and then you will see, oh, mouse, it's not that bad. Like.
I think I personally
I bought
think,
it 216, I think.
yeah,
I
this
played it once.
what makes this game so good and so fun for me to play though is working with an organized group.
This is making the difference.
Although you can play alone and have fun, like I firmly believe that you can do that. There's nothing for myself better than working with an organised group. And like I've said it before, I'll say it until the end of time. I like leading. That's my favourite thing to do in Foxhole. I like leading from the front. I like running ops and leading groups of infantry and everything like that. I genuinely enjoy that. And that's never going to change in Foxhole. And although I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to play it until the servers die, because other games might come along that interest me more or interest us more, whatever. It's easily the most amount of fun I've had playing a game with my clothes on. So for me, this game has its issues, both community wise and gameplay wise itself. But I love it. Although I've had a lot of difficulty ever recommending it to people. I don't know if you guys have had the same difficulty, but I have.
I sure have recommended it to a few friends, although I've only played it for 17 hours total. Definitely recommended my friends. Like this game is like it's difficult, sophisticated, but it's worth every minute you put into it.
It's
And also
something
be kind
special.
of frustrating too.
Yes, but
Yes.
it's a special kind of frustrating. I've never had a game like it where I've completely lost my rag in the middle of the day playing it, and then I've come back like 30 minutes later and had the best time of my life playing it. I've never had that kind of experience in a game before. And it's very unique in that aspect that despite frustrations, I've always come back and I've always still enjoyed it. It is like you said, Sap. It is difficult. It is, quite. It is sophisticated. It is unique, and if you like military shooters, you like history, you like playing games that challenge you in different ways and just whoever's got the best gun or can give EA the most money. This is the most fair experience I've ever had in a game when it comes to the core gameplay itself. I firmly believe that although some items are better than others and they're constantly balancing certain weapons, I firmly believe that this is one of the most balanced online games I've played in a long time.
Balance.
I sure
Yeah,
see the potential in that. I can also imagine new players really liking the game but not having the time, which is also the reason that I didn't start it up at all. I did have some spare time left, but in that time I just played a game that I already knew how it worked, which I think might be keeping new players away from actually learning it all, becoming a proper part of the game. That is something that I wouldn't say I'm scared of, but I think it does form a little bit of a threat to the game. When the sophistication becomes so high that
yes,
it could scare people.
hence the Logi strike.
Yo.
The Logi strike. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of a game having a literal strike occur because of issues with the game itself. That's definitely unique. And in regards to I firmly believe that this game is balance chop, because even the ISG, yes, it's a good weapon that the collies have, but there are counters to it.
The ISG is what kind of weapon is it?
The ISG is shit.
The ISG and anyone that uses it can kindly go fuck themselves with a metal pole. But it's a weapon that the collies, whenever the collies have got it early on in any war, they've won.
Oh.
and it's just a simple case. Early war is very, very powerful. But the frustrating thing is it does have counters. It does have counters, and they can be implemented by people that, rather than just raging in the chat about how dev bias and the ISG is so broken and everything like that. Instead of raging, why don't you just focus on dealing with the problem at hand, countering it, and removing the problem? Like. Believe me, I get it. I've gone up against situations where I've just gotten pissed off. You're constantly getting killed. No one seems to be doing defending or doing anything that they need to be doing. It's frustrating. I get it. And it's very easy to just rage out. But instead, maybe you should just be the leader in that situation, regardless of your rank. In my experience, maybe it's because I'm British, I don't know, but people have a knack for, if you start barking orders, just doing whatever you tell them to. I know that, I don't know if you ever come across that in the field yourself, Sap, because you might have done, you might not have. But in my experience, people will do what you ask them to if you just start shouting at them. Sounds nasty, but it's true. People will just start. I've been called sir before by people when I've just started barking out orders. So
it's really working. It's really working in the game.
Yeah,
it's like you are on the front line. Everything just goes nuts, and you don't make any fucking progress until one is coming to the front and is starting to telling what to do to make effort.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you just go for, come on, fuck it, everyone take a mammon and then go for it. Everyone, if you have 20 mortar tubes in a town hall lying around and nobody's using it, with 150 fucking explosive shots, and you will make it happen that 8 players just will take a mortar tube and firing at your coordinates, it will change directly.
Yeah.
Just for example.
If starting to sound like elitism and such, which was previously discussed as being a problem, is actually the solution here.
I wouldn't say it's not elitism. It's
not elitism. It's like you need someone on the front who is just doing something.
Yeah,
that's it. For example, War 79 or 80, something like that. Line was also in there. We had another player, and it was we two. It was 3 players, and the enemy was close to Okmaran, and there was no defense lines at Okmaran. And then we just took a shovel and was starting building trenches, buildings, everything like that. And the city was holding for another 3 days, real-time days. Otherwise, it would be just overrun in no time. So you need someone on the front who's doing something. This is the message. Nothing more. It's not elitism, but you have the tools. Use the tools. You can just go to the front with the rifle over and over again, and nothing will happen. The battleground will always be the same. You're not doing any effort, but you have enough players, and then you have thousands of randoms just doing the same. But if you rally up some boys and ladies and doing something else, what is making more effort, it will change.
Rather than complain about people not doing something, why don't you take it upon yourself to do it. That's kind of what we mean, and that's not elitism doing that. It's the same as in real life. Rather than just complain about what you want to about someone not doing it, why don't you make the effort to go out there and do it yourself?
I also wouldn't call it elitism. Elitism is basically we had situations like I'm not saying names again, by the way.
No.
We had situations like we was on the front, and then there was one of our guys just telling someone else, "Hey, you're blocking the entrance. Can you please move away? Or didn't teach your parents you any manners or something? Manners or something." And then he equipped himself completely. He tried to go out, and then he just got shot in the back by a veteran, by a well-known veteran player. You know?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
like, just fuck you. You know what I mean? So I just ignore you. And then he is trying to tell me, because I was asking him, hey, what was that kind of a move? And then he was like, you guys are great. FFC, you are great. But this guy is just a sergeant and he is just shit. And I was like, wait a moment. Yeah, he's just a sergeant. I said, no, it's rank doesn't really matter. Yeah, it matters. I said, no, it doesn't really matter. It's just a thing in front of your fucking name. And he was like, it matters. I'm playing the game longer than him, blah, blah, blah. It's like basically the real, what is it called? The real World of Warcraft player telling everyone else that he have the best warrior, you know? Because he have level 1,899 or something. So this is the toxic behavior, what I really don't like.
Yeah,
you know?
same. And I mean, if you haven't come across it yourself, Sap, that's brilliant. I love to hear that you haven't come across it yourself, but it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen, and people know it happens, and it's like, I'll be the first one to admit, right? There have been occasions. Last op we did, I'm fighting on the front with a bunch of other infantry. As we're pushing, a brand new player has jumped on a machine gun. I'm just so happened to be standing in front of the machine gun trying to advance, and he just guns me down straight away. I'm a bit frustrated at that because, you know, he just shot me. So I may have, as soon as I spawned, walked up to him with my gun and domed him in the back of the head. Was it the right thing to do? No, absolutely not. I shouldn't have done it. Was it rational to do so? Yes. Because I know people, I've come across people in this game that would kill that person more than once doing so. If they'd done something like that. And that's just my attitude in any game. That's not just Foxhole. If someone kills me like that, I'm going to shoot them back. And I'm more than willing to admit I was in the wrong there. But I shouldn't have lost my temper like that, because that is not beneficial to the game. But just outright, like, all right, you've got 17 hours, right, in a game. Does that mean that your opinion is worth any less than mine? And I've got over 200. A surprisingly small amount for someone who's in a position I am in a regiment. I've only got 200 hours. The main reason I only have 200 hours is because I don't spend like days making stuff, because I don't do logi. I used to do a lot of logi. I don't do it so much now because it takes up so much time. And no offense, but I do have other things in my life to do. So all of the dedicated lodges out there, I love you, but I can't do that. But that doesn't mean that your opinion or your ideas are any less worthy than mine. If you was to come to me and go, Rise, I've got an idea for an infantry op, I'd hear you out. I wouldn't just turn around and just go, no, you've been in a regiment for 5 minutes. I'm not about to give you the time of day or even listen to you. I'd hear you out. If someone gave you shit because you was a new player, like I said in the meeting earlier, it's a standard joke. Don't come to me if you have issues with another regiment. Please go to somebody else. I am not known for my chill when dealing with other people. But just amount of time spent does not equal ability in the game. I've played enough of Foxhole now to realise that just because you've got X thousand amount of hours in the game does not automatically mean that you know what you're doing more than anyone else. Especially tactically.
Well, I would say in case of like comparing thousands of hours, indeed, that really doesn't matter. But generally, someone with an hour experience knows more than someone with half an hour of experience, if you keep it in the small numbers at least.
But
in that case, also depending on the on the situation itself, I would say that it might be a good thing for someone with more hours opinion to matter more than someone with less hours opinion.
Okay. You're kind of right. God, I sound like a dick. I get what you mean. That was shitty wording from me. I get what you mean, but hear me out. I've got 200 hours in game, right? But this isn't me touting my own horn. I'm ex-military and I know a fair bit about military tactics. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I don't expect to just automatically be listened to, but say I'm an officer in a regiment, such as the FLC like I am, right? You know my previous experience in real life and you've seen me lead. Well, even if you haven't seen me lead, you know my capabilities and I come to you with a plan, or say that I've got a plan. Would you at the very least hear me out?
When you've got what do you call it?
I'm ex-Royal Navy, right, and ex-military.
Yeah.
Right. I come to you. You know that I'm ex-military. I come to you and I'm just like, you've got several thousand hours. I've only got a couple of hundred. And I come to you and say, I've got a plan of attack. Would you at the very least hear me out?
Oh, yeah, but that's a difficult question. From where I come from, the realm of Stormworks, that's a definite no. I would not listen to you at all.
Disregard Stormworks in the context of Foxhole.
Yeah, I really am not the one to say anything about that, since my 17 hours don't give me too much experience to interpret the answer for a question like that.
It's more to the point of you have to be willing to listen to other players in this game more than almost any other game I've played, because you don't get very far in Foxhole if you don't work as a team. And if all you're going to do is just rage at new players for their lack of in-game knowledge, what are you achieving there?
Well, nothing.
Really?
Not much.
No. And I don't know, don't quote me on this, but this is something that I personally have noticed playing Foxhole. The FLC the FLC taking in new players and teaching them how to play the game is actually surprisingly rare among Foxhole regiments. A lot of regiments don't do that. They won't take new players in and teach them the basics of the game or anything like that. which
That is indeed weird to hear. I thought that would be more regiments who do that.
there's loads of regiments that claim to do it, but don't actually do it. Like that's what's helped the FLC grow as much as it has in a short period of time. We're all relatively new players to the game, most of us. Like some of us, have like thousands of hours in the game, but a lot of us have like a couple of 100 hours or even less. And it's a lot of the regiments that I've come across have been like, how has the FLC grown so quickly? To which I'm just like, oh well, we take in, or they've noticed themselves that we take in new players and we train them. And they're like, oh, we'll have to try that. What do you mean try it? Why aren't you doing it already? Like no one seems to want to take a lot of people don't seem to want to take responsibility for training new players within the community. And again, not speaking for everyone, I know there's plenty of other regiments. I know there's other regiments out there that do this, but there are a lot that don't. And pretty much all of us, myself included, came into FLC barely having a clue what we was doing, and learning how to use everything, how the game mechanics worked, pretty much on the fly, off of each other. So, I mean, I don't know, Fish, Chop, am I talking out of my arse here, or would you agree?
Can you repeat the question?
That it's rare within Foxhole for other regiments to be like us, of taking in new players and teaching them how the game works as a whole.
I haven't actually seen a guy from a regiment like grabbing someone, like the people from Callahan's Legion or the CL, like you've been constricted to CLL, like this kind of meme that has been going on throughout this faction. Personally, I haven't seen anyone doing it. Well, we all been the only one doing it. I might be wrong. It's just from my perspective.
Yeah. I don't for a second think that we're the only one doing it, but we are definitely the only ones I've ever noticed doing it, actively taking in new players.
What I have to say about that is like there is regiments also doing this. But I mean, maybe again here at that point, it's maybe more than the newer regiments. I didn't saw it on the big regiments. For example, I'm not the friend of poaching someone. But
I know what you mean. Yeah,
there was regiment just inviting players.
From other regiments, yeah.
Yeah, but no. But just inviting a new player, like I click you, I invite you, I have you in my regiment now. So, but I don't take care.
Yeah.
And so finally we got members from other regiments. I think in the end, right now, it is like 3 other regiments where we have players from who wasn't happy in other regiments. Yeah. It's like they're not taking care. So I think this is the point why maybe we're doing good.
Yeah.
Because we're taking care for everyone. It's not like only for a few new player. So, and then we have to do something.
It's like tomorrow we're going to be doing infantry training, right?
I think you said that.
Yes. Sap, did you mention wanting to join that?
Yep, indeed.
Yep. And you're going to get a taste, and then I'm going to take you to the front of what again, it's going to sound kind of dickish, but it's not meant in a way. What I expect when you work infantry with me. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's not me being arrogant, but it works. I know it works because it's worked every time we've done it. I like to think FLC has a really solid infantry team. And I know I'm not delusional for a second. I know it's not just down to me, but I've always been really proud of what the lads have achieved whenever we've done infantry, and I know we can't be the only one that does it, but a lot of the other regiments I've spoken to, when I've mentioned like the training programs and everything like that, nobody else seems to have anything like that in either. There are probably regiments that do it, but I don't know of any on the top of my head. At least like the in-depth training, like what you do, Fish, with the tanks.
Yes.
Like, I don't know anyone else that does that.
Well, there are two things for certain. One, I love tanks romantically and physically. Two,
Romantically and physically.
Not mentally though.
mentally is a different kind of thing. And second, I have passion in tank warfare. Really, I just love how a tank column, like out of like goddamn fog, just fucking goes and steamrolls everything. I just love the satisfaction in it. Yeah, the preparation. Well, I used to prepare my tank trainings 7 hours.
I remember the first one, it took you 2 days to get everything prepped for it.
Oh yeah, 2 days. One, I need to grind components, and two, set up the
And it
cans
wasn't,
stuff.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the first one, it wasn't just you doing
It wasn't
prep.
just me. It
No.
was. I remember Rose, and remember. Oh fuck! There was another one.
Was it Lena?
Who?
Did Lena help?
She wasn't there. She wasn't there.
Oh no, it was Pants. Pants helped you.
Who?
Pants.
Wait, who? Oh yes, Pants. Yes, he helped. So yeah,
But-
these two people. Even though I had more people to do it, it still took like 7 hours. Imagine if I had to do it all alone.
Yeah. And it went really, really well. And all of our tank ops after that have been incredibly successful. Like it's not a case of you have to do the training. It's a case of we recommend you do the training so that you know how to work with us. So that when I give, for example, Sap, when I give an order, you're not going to be stood there like, what? You're going to know what I'm talking about. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because that can be a thing for people where they're just like, what the fuck did he just say? And I've always loved doing like there have been ops that I've hated. There's been ops where I've been stressed. The best op for me and my shining moment, in my opinion, leading an op was Operation Howling Wolf. Chop and Fish will know exactly what one I'm on about.
Wasn't that in the push in Howell County in War 87?
Yep.
Yeah, that shit was fucking.
The
yes,
clusterfuck that was that push. And it's like, did we achieve the main objective of taking Howell County? No, we didn't. Did I achieve all of the objectives I was given by my commanding officer? Yes, I did. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, that was the best op I've ever done.
Wasn't it when I was sitting in the background or something?
No, you was leading at the front, but the operational lead for it, who shall go unnamed, but you know who you are, was too busy he was doing logistics as he was commanding, so he didn't have a clue what was going on. You got fed up of not knowing what to do, so ended up taking command from what I've heard. And you asked, I came in late, and as soon as I showed up, you went, Rise, you're here. Take some guys and go and do anti-partisan work. And I was like,
Yeah. I
Sure,
can
Chop.
remember.
Who wants to come with me? Like 8 guys later on a truck, and we're defending one point. Then we're asked to go somewhere else, so we have to go there. Then we're asked somewhere else, so we have to go there. And then the attack completely collapses, and we're defending the counter attack. And it was just my guys still holding because everyone else fucked off. That was my favourite moment ever leading an op, because I knew I'd done everything that I'd been asked to do, and the guys had achieved everything that I'd asked them to do. And
what I really liked was the little thing what was not planned, like, hey, we're just going there. What was the name?
I know. Yeah, in the moors, that op that we did really, really late at night, weren't it?
In the
just-
north,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
north,
you-
it was
You
at
had some
Mount or
Yeah.
something.
You had some tanks with you. I was leading the infantry, and we was just doing that whole bit for like 4 hours of just back and forth. That was fun. That was loads and loads of fun. And we was having like people like dropping in and out as it was getting on, but it was still one of the best ops we've ever had. And I think we should go back to doing that kind of style personally.
Yeah.
Because that is when we as a regiment and us as a group excel the most. It's not the Zerg rush, it's fuck it, why don't we all just go to the front and just do something together? And we go and it somehow works and everyone leaves, happy.
Yeah. There's like overcomplicated or more complicated operation mostly going wrong. But what I really want to do is most of the time. But what I really want to do now is maybe in the next war go somewhere to isle battles again. Search a nice beach and then do some. Let me say, some barge landing operation. Then we did it in War 86, War 85, I'm not sure, or 84, I'm not sure. We was in the east. We was far in the east. And there was like, DIG was helping us on that. And then we was like having some barges, and we just drove over to Godcrafts all the time with the barges, landing troops on the other side. Yeah, I really want to do something like that again.
I remember an op that we did at War 86, I think, where me and Draz just got our hands on a couple of devits and went to another hex and did some partisan ops with these devits. For context, a devit is a warden light tank. Just took these light tanks behind enemy lines on barges, and then we blew up a bunker base and one of their town halls and got the devits out of there with like no casualties. And then the moment we started fighting on the front, we started getting the shit kicked out of us, and we was like, we should have just carried on doing the partisan ops. It was more fun.
Yeah.
Imagine doing partisans.
I would say
job with a tank.
we could do it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've done it. It works. Honest to God, it works.
I mean, in the next few days.
Oh yeah, as long as it's the devits, because they're the best ones to do it with.
The good thing is, collies are struggling a lot right now. Looks for me like that. I don't want to provoke the collies, but I do. Yeah, but partisan work could work a lot, because now we have access mostly everywhere on the land.
Don't want to give away too many secrets, though, Chuck.
No, but we have access to their lands now. Is that not? I mean, this is not a secret. They can see it also, right?
But regardless, I'm looking forward to what the next few weeks of Foxhole show me, because we're getting more players like Sap, for example, coming back. It's great to have you back, Sap.
Thank you.
I mean, this war we got a lot of members who just made the big break in Foxhole, just coming back.
Yeah, and they're not burnt out from 87, which is fantastic. Because I'm just like, how are you guys so energetic for this? Oh, right, yeah, you haven't played for 6 months. That's why. Lucky bastards. But it's good to have, like, the players come back. And I'm looking forward to having the numbers to do the shit that we've done in the past yet again. I mean, like, a lot of people will tell you, like, when I lead, I can be super serious when I lead. Until the moment that I'm not. And that's normally when we're doing something that doesn't have to be taken super seriously. If we're fighting on the front, I can be shouting down the mic. That's not because I'm trying to be rude. That's because gunfire can be loud, guys. Like, you people need to be able to hear me. People already complain enough about not being able to hear me as it is. I need to shout sometimes. So if I ever do shout, I'm going to apologise to you now, Sap.
Ro just wrote, like, you are serious and not serious at the same time. It's fun.
That's a fair point. I can be serious and not serious at the same time. Like, I will ask you to do something like dig a foxhole, but then, like, you know, we'll just be chatting about, you know, Blueberry sending dick pics to Chop or something like that. You won't have any context for the conversation, but it'll just be one big, like, meme in the group or something. So I'm apologising now, Sap. If I shout at you, I'm not actually shouting at you. If that makes any sense.
Oh, well, it does make some sense.
I'm shouting because you need to hear me.
I get what you mean. It's just the fog of war, the fog of, you know, being in the moment and such, needing to get something done.
Yeah.
I get that.
Plus, in a weird way, I like to think that it adds a little bit of realism to the game itself. Like, a bit of immersion.
It does. One of the things that I remember from people shouting at each other in video games, that one of the some clips or something that went viral from some game that plays like that reenacts the battles between Napoleon and the English and such, and there's just
hold fast.
all the people with the guns that they need to manually reload from the front and such, and some guy with a drum and a trumpet and such, and some other guy screaming like, let's get them, and that really looks really fun. And doing that in Foxhole, I guess could also be a lot of fun. But I heard that now that the mood is cleared up, I need to go for a bit. But keep that mood up, because I've written down some things. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about the concept of hypothetical situations, because that's something I really would like to talk about.
Yeah, sure thing. Tell you
right.
what, I will talk to you about that at a later time. I'm probably going to end the podcast soon anyway. So thank you very, very much for joining us, Sap. It was a pleasure to have you, and I hope to see you in future ones.
All right, thanks. Then I guess the concept of hypothetical situations will wait for the next podcast, I suppose. Yeah,
we do them. This is also to those that are listening. We do them on Sundays at around about half 9 GMT, so 10:30 for you, every week. And we've managed to stick to it so far. So here's hoping we can keep on sticking to it in the future. So yeah, thank you very, very much for joining us, Sap.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll put your topic suggestion up for the next week.
All right.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Chop, you got anything that you want to talk about in regards to...
Nee.
Those were the most German sounds I've ever heard you come
Look,
out.
I don't understand. It's like midnight right now, but man.
What about you, Fish? Anything that you want to add?
Colby bad, Warden good. That's it.
Finally, good
Because-
daddies. I like it.
Finally,
Because
and
this-
useful information in this podcast.
This is an impartial podcast. It is for anyone, regardless of their loyalties.
I don't care.
You don't care, collie bad.
Yes.
Right.
This is a propaganda radio after all, so we're gonna spread this.
Shh. They weren't supposed to know that.
Nah. Let everybody know.
Regardless, I think we'll end the podcast there now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it lasted like 2 hours.
Yep.
It's enough.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
enough.
it's enough. Yeah, it's enough.
For those of you that were listening or will be listening in the future, thank you very, very much for listening to us. Please make sure to like and subscribe or dislike. I don't care. Thank you very, very
Wait,
much.
I sent you a dislike.
Thank you very, very much for joining us.
No problem. I do my best.
If any of you have any questions that you want to be brought up in the next podcast, please put them down in the comment section below. And with that, that's goodbye from me, Rise Inquisitor, and all of the wonderful members of the FLC that joined us tonight. Chop, Blue, Sap, and